not really a hoarder. I love papers and stickers and old books and magazines. I'm kind of crazy. I'm kind of crazy about old wallpaper. I collect it, I take pictures of it. There are all the issues of Somerset Studio. And I figured out a way to incorporate all the things that I love into one mixed media project.
I wonder.
Something new. This is the new IOD Paint Inlays. This one's called Rose CHINTZ. It has a wallpaper look to it. They're totally new, they're revolutionary. I am so excited to share these and to try a new project with them.
It makes me wonder.
I'll take you step by step on how to use these IOD Paint Inlays.
What an incredible way to use Iron Orchid designs, the transfers, the paint inlays, the stamps. You can incorporate them all into a mixed media project.
I started my project with a large plywood board, and I applied a base coat of chalk style paint. The paint inlays have a border around the edge of them. You'll want to trim that border away.
Until winter comes, until winter comes.
To prepare the surface to receive the paint inlay, you'll need a coat of wet paint. I prepared a rectangular shaped area to receive that first paint inlay.
Oh, I wonder.
Apply the inlay sheet pattern side down. Use a brayer to get good contact with the paint. With a wet cloth, dampen the surface of the inlay. This will help to activate those pigments. And then let the paint dry completely. In order to remove the inlay, dampen the surface again and gently peel back the inlay sheet.
It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder.
You'll notice that some of the blue paint that I've applied is actually adhered to that inlay sheet. I'll be able to use this a second time. So I'm preparing another area of wet paint. Press the used inlay sheet into the paint, brayer and dampen, just like we did before, and let it dry. I want to trim this back because I'm using this particular inlay around the outside edge of my first inlay. After the paint has dried, I have wet the surface of the inlay and again gently pull it back. You'll see that with the second use, it's a more faded look and leaves some of that original paint behind.
Several years ago, when we moved from our big house, I had this whole collection of magazines. I saved every issue of Country Living magazine. Honey, you're gonna be so proud of me. I went through all of my magazines. I'm ready to donate 2 years of Country Living. Still had like 8 years to go.
For my mixed media project, I'm just decoupaging various papers and magazine clippings with the right colors and textures, and old book pages.
I figured out a way to manage this crazy brain of mine where I love all the things. I love the crafting supplies, I love the paint, I love different styles.
I'm going to try to get a third use out of my inlay. This time, I'm trying a clear matte gel medium as my imprint medium.
Just close your eyes and know.
Remember, this is the third time I'm using the inlay. it leaves an even more faded, shabby, beautiful imprint. But I'm not done with this inlay sheet yet. I can use the leftover used sheets to decoupage onto my mixed media board. Now, with all of those magazines, I gather up a batch of them, and then when I have some quiet time, I take one or two out, and then I just save the images that I love. I keep them contained in a nice basket on the bookshelf. I'm going to continue to layer different bits of magazine images, papers, old books, and my inlays onto my mixed media board. I seal each of these decoupaged pieces and my paint inlays with a very light coat of gel medium, or you can use a top coat. Use a very fast, light, dry coat over the paint inlays, because the pigments can be reactivated when they're wet. I used Iod Transfers on my mixed media project as well. This time I focused on the butterflies from Entomology, etc.
You say take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new. Have you heard the fairies when they sing and dance? Oh, I wish it was me every night. When I close my eyes, I see trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too.
I want to create a focal point on my board. I painted a square of heavy watercolor paper with some pink chalk style paint. And then I applied a new sheet of the IOD Paint Inlay.
Just close your eyes and know beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty.
I added even more bits of my vintage wallpaper because it kind of looks cool with the rose CHINTZ IOD Paint Inlay.
I'm in for the fight. It's gonna take some time, but I know that beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet.
I'll finish up my project by blending everything together with some white paint, with some aqua paint, with some paint spatters, inks, and I've shaded around my focal point areas of paint inlays and butterflies.
Trust you when you say.
That's what I love about mixed media. You get to do all the things and keep them in one piece. And actually, I think that's just pretty cool.
The IOD Paint Inlays and the IOD Transfers that I used can be found at our brick and mortar shop in Medina, New York, or at lnjgoods.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a comment, and check the description box below for all the details.